By the time you start watching this video, nearly 40 older adults, just like you, just like someone you love, will have been hospitalized because of something that was silently stealing their strength. Not a disease, not an accident, but something far quieter, far more common: muscle loss. A hidden thief that doesn't knock on your door with pain or warning. It just takes. It takes your balance. It takes your energy. And in time, it takes your independence. It's happening right now, across the country, in homes, in parks, in kitchens. Seniors who felt perfectly fine yesterday are suddenly too weak to get out of bed today. And the truth is, many of them had no idea it was coming. No idea that after the age of 60, the body can quietly destroy up to 1/3 of its muscle mass. No idea that this is the #1 reason so many end up in nursing homes, or worse, in hospital beds after a fall. This condition has a name: sarcopenia. It sounds clinical, but it's deeply personal, because when you can no longer lift yourself out of a chair, or carry your own groceries, or walk without fear of falling, that's not just muscle loss. That's a piece of your freedom slipping away. But here's something that might surprise you, something that may even bring you hope. Researchers at Harvard and other leading institutions have found that this devastating loss is not only avoidable, in many cases, it's reversible. And the answer isn't complicated. It isn't a drug. It isn't a new device. It's a food. One simple food. One you may not be eating, but should. Because in clinical trials, it didn't just help, it outperformed medications. Rebuilt muscle, restored function, returned confidence. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So if you're over 60 and want to protect your strength, your mobility, your independence, please stay with me. I promise this isn't fear-mongering. This is a wake-up call, a lifeline, a message that says it's not too late. Before we begin, I'd be so grateful if you could like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. You never know. Your comment might be the reason someone else finds this message just in time. Because in the next moment, we'll reveal that one food, the one that could change how your muscles age and how you live. Let's begin with something that might already be in your fridge, but most people don't realize just how powerful it truly is, especially for aging muscles. It looks simple, tastes familiar, and feels comforting, but inside it holds a hidden strength. I'm talking about Greek yogurt. Now you might be thinking, yogurt, really? And I understand. It seems too ordinary to make much of a difference. But here's the truth. Greek yogurt isn't just any snack. It's a slow-releasing powerhouse of nourishment that speaks directly to your muscles, especially when you need it most. You see, as we get older, one of the most dangerous times for muscle loss is while we sleep. During those quiet nighttime hours, your body slips into a fasting state, and for many older adults, that's when muscle breakdown speeds up. But Greek yogurt, particularly when eaten in the evening, can change that. It's packed with a unique type of protein called casein, which digests slowly and continues feeding your muscles amino acids for hours. It's like giving your body a gentle stream of support while you rest. And it's not just about protein. Greek yogurt also delivers calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus, nutrients that keep your muscles contracting properly, your bones strong, and your nerves firing the way they should. When these nutrients are lacking, simple things like standing, bending, or even lifting a coffee mug can begin to feel harder than they should. But perhaps one of the most overlooked benefits of Greek yogurt is what it does for your gut. It contains probiotics, those friendly bacteria that help your digestive system stay balanced. Why does that matter for muscle strength? Because your body can't absorb what it can't digest. And as we age, digestion becomes less efficient. Probiotics help ensure that the nutrients you do eat are actually used where they're needed most, like your legs, your arms, and your core. I remember hearing from an older man named Charles. He had started feeling weak in the mornings, his arms tired, legs stiff. A nutritionist suggested something simple, a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt before bed. He was skeptical, but he tried. Within a few weeks, he said he felt steadier when he woke up, less shaky, more ready to start the day. It's just yogurt, he said, but it feels like it's working. That's the beauty of it. No drama, no gimmicks, just real nourishment. doing quiet work in your body when you need it most. If you want to start, aim for the plain, full-fat kind. None of those sugary flavored versions. You can sweeten it naturally with a few berries or a drizzle of honey. And if it becomes a part of your evening routine, think of it as a gentle protector, one that stands guard while you sleep, making sure your strength doesn't fade in the dark. Now, if you're wondering whether something so small can really make a difference, wait until you hear about the next food. It comes from the sea, carries some of the most powerful fats nature has to offer, and has been shown to amplify the benefits of protein like almost nothing else. Let's keep going. Now let's turn our attention to something rich, flavorful, and flowing straight from nature's most powerful pantry. The sea. It's a food that not only nourishes your muscles, but also supercharges everything else you eat. I'm talking about fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These aren't just tasty options for dinner, they're deep, healing medicine for aging muscles, especially when eaten consistently. What makes fatty fish so extraordinary is their abundance of omega-3 fatty acids. You've probably heard of them before, maybe in the context of heart health or brain function. But here's what many people don't know. Omega-3s play a direct role in protecting your muscles as you age. They reduce the chronic inflammation that quietly builds up in the body over time, the kind of inflammation that slowly eats away at muscle tissue without ever sounding an alarm. And in a body over 60, inflammation is almost always working in the background, unless something's actively calming it down. Fatty fish do just that. And even more remarkably, they actually make your muscles more responsive to protein. Think about that. As we age, our muscles become harder to stimulate. Even when we eat enough protein, the body doesn't always know how to use it efficiently. But omega-3s help bridge that gap. They act like a whisper in your muscle's ear saying, "Wake up, grow, repair." And that effect, scientifically observed, can be a game changer for someone who's been eating well, but not seeing the results. But that's not where the benefits stop. Fatty fish are also packed with high-quality protein themselves. A modest 4-ounce serving of salmon gives you a full spectrum of essential amino acids, the ones your body needs to rebuild strength after a long walk, a grocery trip, or even just getting up and down from the sofa. And they're loaded with vitamin D, something many seniors are deficient in without realizing it. Vitamin D doesn't just support bones, it works closely with muscles to ensure they contract smoothly, respond quickly, and stay coordinated. There was a woman named Ruth I once met at a community health event. She was in her 70s and had been battling fatigue and leg weakness for years. A doctor recommended she start eating salmon twice a week. She didn't think much of it until about a month later. She told me with a spark in her eye that she could suddenly walk farther without needing to rest. Her balance felt better, her steps steadier. "I never thought fish could do that," she said. But that's the quiet power of food. It doesn't shout, it builds. And if you're worried about the cost or complexity of preparing fish, know this: it doesn't have to be fancy. A simple baked fillet with a squeeze of lemon, a few sardines on toast, a bowl of canned salmon mixed into a salad. Even fish oil supplements can help if fresh fish is hard to come by, though whole food sources always offer more. What matters most is consistency. Just twice a week, and your body begins to feel the shift. So as we continue this journey through foods that truly matter, know this: every choice you make is a message to your body. And when you choose fatty fish, you're telling your body, "I want to stay strong. I want to keep moving forward." But we're not done yet. There's another food coming up, one that's likely already in your kitchen, though you may have been eating it all wrong. It's compact, incredibly affordable, and holds one of the most powerful muscle-building secrets hidden inside its golden center. Let's take a closer look. Now let's bring it back to something even more familiar, something that's likely been a part of your meals for decades, but whose full potential might have gone unnoticed. It's simple, affordable, and often the first thing we learn to cook. I'm talking about eggs. Yes, plain old eggs, but don't let their simplicity fool you. When it comes to preserving and rebuilding muscle, especially after 60, eggs are one of the most complete and effective foods you can put on your plate. What makes them so special? It starts with the kind of protein they offer. Eggs contain what scientists call high biological value protein, which means your body can absorb and use it more efficiently than most other sources. Each egg holds around 6 grams of complete protein, containing all the essential amino acids your muscles need to grow, recover, and stay strong. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Nearly half of that muscle-building power is in the yolk. For years, many of us were told to avoid the yolk because of cholesterol fears. But research has since shown that moderate egg consumption isn't harmful for most people. And in fact, the yolk holds some of the most valuable nutrients for seniors. It's packed with choline, which supports brain and nerve function. It has vitamin D, which works closely with calcium to keep your muscles and bones functioning together. And most important of all, it contains leucine. Leucine is a standout amino acid. It plays a direct role in telling your muscles to start building. Think of it as a key that turns the ignition in your muscle engine. And as we age, our bodies become more resistant to these signals. That's why older adults often need more leucine-rich foods just to get the same benefit. Eggs deliver it naturally and in a form your body knows how to use. I remember a retired teacher named Martin who reached out after trying something he heard on a wellness show. He started adding 2 eggs to his breakfast every morning. That's it. No drastic changes. Within weeks, he noticed his morning routine became easier. Standing up from his bed, carrying a basket of laundry, even climbing the porch steps, he felt more grounded, more able. "It's just eggs," he said, "but I feel more like myself again." And that's the kind of difference we're talking about. Not dramatic transformations overnight, but subtle, steady strength returning to your body in ways you can feel. Eggs are easy. Boiled, scrambled, poached, folded into an omelet. They fit any lifestyle, and they're portable, quick to prepare, and deeply satisfying. So if you're looking for something simple to add to your routine, something affordable, nutrient-rich, and incredibly effective, don't overlook the power of the egg. 1 or 2 each day, especially in the morning when your body's ready to receive and use protein, can make all the difference. And now as we move forward, we'll shift from the animal world to the plant kingdom. Up next is a group of tiny foods that many people treat as snacks, but they hold within them a secret combination of minerals, healthy fats, and plant-based protein that work together to protect and preserve your muscles. Curious? Let's keep going. Let's turn now to something that might sit quietly in your pantry, often grabbed by the handful during a quiet afternoon, or sprinkled onto a salad without a second thought. They don't require cooking. They don't make a fuss, but they carry inside them a kind of power that becomes more and more valuable with age. I'm talking about nuts and seeds. They may be small, but their impact is anything but. These tiny foods are packed with a perfect trio of nutrients that your muscles absolutely need as you get older. Plant-based protein, healthy fats, and minerals that directly support muscle contraction, energy, and repair. While they don't contain as much protein per ounce as meat or dairy, the kind of nourishment they offer works in synergy. That means everything inside them works together, in harmony, to fuel your body in a way that's gentle, sustainable, and long-lasting. Let's begin with magnesium. It's a mineral that often flies under the radar, but for seniors, it's crucial. Magnesium helps your muscles contract and relax the way they're supposed to. Without enough of it, you may start experiencing cramps, fatigue, or even unexplained muscle aches. Unfortunately, many older adults are deficient, and they don't even know it. But almonds, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds are all rich in magnesium, and adding just a small serving to your day can begin to fill in that gap. Then there's vitamin E, found abundantly in many nuts and seeds. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to oxidative stress. That's a fancy way of saying your cells get damaged by free radicals floating around. Over time, this damage wears down your muscle tissue and slows your recovery. But vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. It protects your muscles from that breakdown, helping you hold on to the strength you've built and reduce inflammation that might otherwise go unnoticed. And let's not forget about healthy fats, especially the kind found in walnuts and flax seeds. These fats not only support heart and brain health, they also play a direct role in hormonal balance, which includes the regulation of testosterone and other hormones that influence muscle mass. You might not feel the shift in your hormones day by day, but your body does. And when you give it the right kinds of fats, It responds with energy, stability, and better nutrient absorption. A woman I once met named Linda had spent most of her life avoiding nuts. Too many calories, she said. But when she started adding a small handful of mixed nuts to her mid-morning snack each day, she noticed something interesting. Her knees didn't ache as much on her afternoon walks. Her grip strength improved. She wasn't losing weight, but she felt lighter. "It's like I'm moving through the day with less friction," she told me. That's the kind of subtle shift that makes life more livable, more enjoyable. The key with nuts and seeds isn't to eat a lot, but to eat them consistently. 1 to 2 ounces a day, just a small handful, is enough to nourish your muscles, feed your cells, and support everything from circulation to mood. Choose raw or dry roasted varieties without too much added salt, especially if you're watching your blood pressure. And if chewing is a challenge, try nut butters or sprinkle ground seeds into your meals. These are small steps, yes, but they're powerful ones. And when added to the foods we've already explored, they become part of a much bigger picture, one where your muscles aren't fading, but finding new strength. Coming up next is a food group that's often forgotten, especially in Western diets. But for seniors, it holds a powerful key to long-term muscle maintenance. It's hearty, versatile, and more connected to your gut health and muscle recovery than you might think. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about something hearty, something warm, filling, and quietly working on your strength from the inside out. It may not be flashy, but it's been a staple in kitchens around the world for centuries. You've likely had it in soups, stews, or maybe even in a simple bowl with rice. I'm talking about beans and legumes. For older adults, this humble food group offers something incredibly rare, a steady, reliable source of muscle-preserving nutrition that's also easy on the body, gentle on the wallet, and packed with benefits that go far beyond just protein. Yes, beans have protein, about 15 grams per cooked cup depending on the variety, but it's their combination of nutrients that makes them a true ally in the fight against age-related muscle loss. One of the most powerful components of beans is something called resistant starch. It's a type of carbohydrate that doesn't break down fully in the small intestine. Instead, it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. Why does that matter? Because your gut plays a surprising role in how well your body absorbs nutrients, controls inflammation, and even regulates muscle breakdown. The healthier your gut, the stronger and more responsive your muscles can be. And for many people over 60, gut health quietly starts to decline, unless you're feeding it right. Beans also come loaded with fiber. That means more stable blood sugar levels, fewer energy crashes, and less risk of insulin resistance, a condition that makes it harder for your body to use protein and build muscle effectively. Stable blood sugar isn't just about preventing diabetes. It's about giving your muscles a fighting chance to use the fuel you feed them. And then there are the minerals, especially potassium, magnesium, and iron. These aren't just vitamins on a label. They're essential tools your muscles rely on to function, contract, and recover. When iron levels dip too low, as they often do in older adults, your muscles stop getting the oxygen they need. That leads to fatigue, weakness, and slower movement. Black beans, lentils, and chickpeas are all rich in iron, along with other supportive nutrients that work quietly behind the scenes to restore what time tries to wear down. I remember hearing from a couple in their late 60s who had started adding lentils to their meals 3 times a week. Nothing dramatic, just swapping out a side of pasta or rice for lentil soup or a chickpea salad. After a couple of months, they both noticed the same thing. Their legs felt stronger on walks. They had more stamina while gardening. "It's like my body has more to work with now," the husband said. And that's exactly what beans do. They give your body the tools to keep going. If you're concerned about digestion, don't worry. Start slow. Soak dried beans overnight if you're cooking them yourself, or choose canned varieties. But make sure to rinse them well to reduce sodium and compounds that cause gas. As your body adjusts, you'll likely notice less discomfort and more benefit. The beauty of beans is how they blend into almost any meal. Add them to soups, toss them into salads, stir them into stews, or even puree them into spreads. They don't need to be the star of the plate to make a big impact. Just include them a few times a week, and you may begin to feel stronger, steadier, and more supported in your daily movements. And as we keep going, we'll move from something dense and hearty to something leafy, vibrant, and full of quiet strength. A food group often dismissed as rabbit food, but for seniors, it holds one of the most overlooked secrets to muscle performance. Let's take the next step together. Now we shift our attention to something green, something light and crisp, yet brimming with strength in ways few truly understand. It doesn't come in a flashy package. It doesn't promise miracles. But for older adults, it may hold one of the most overlooked keys to muscle health and physical resilience. I'm talking about leafy green vegetables. You've likely heard that greens are good for you, but what most people don't realize is just how good they are, especially when it comes to keeping your muscles functioning well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. These aren't just sides to decorate your plate. They are living systems of minerals, antioxidants, and performance-enhancing compounds that can breathe new life into your daily movement. One of the most powerful substances in leafy greens is nitrate, not to be confused with the harmful additives found in processed meats. The natural nitrate in vegetables like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard is converted in your body into nitric oxide. This in turn improves blood flow, especially to your muscles. Think about what that means. Better circulation, better oxygen delivery, faster nutrient transport, and more efficient waste removal. And all of that leads to better muscle performance, quicker recovery, and reduced fatigue after even simple activities like walking to the store or climbing the stairs. This isn't theory, it's been demonstrated in research. Older adults who consume higher amounts of natural dietary nitrate show improved muscle strength, endurance, and even balance, without changing anything else. And that's only the beginning. Leafy greens are also some of the richest sources of magnesium, potassium, and calcium, 3 minerals that form the foundation of muscle contraction. When you're low in these, you may feel cramping in your calves, twitching in your hands, or weakness that seems to appear out of nowhere. A single cup of cooked spinach can provide up to 40% of your daily magnesium needs. And unlike supplements, your body tends to absorb these nutrients from food more smoothly without overload or side effects. Then there's vitamin K, found abundantly in leafy greens. It's best known for its role in blood clotting, but more recent studies have revealed its deep involvement in protein metabolism and muscle maintenance. Seniors with higher intake of vitamin K have been shown to preserve more lean muscle over time, reducing their risk of frailty and mobility issues. It's a quiet vitamin, but a powerful one. And perhaps most importantly, greens are easy. You don't have to turn your life upside down to include them. Toss a handful of spinach into a morning smoothie. Saute kale with a bit of garlic and olive oil. Add arugula or romaine to your sandwich or wrap. Even frozen chopped greens can be stirred into soups or casseroles in seconds. They ask for very little and give back so much. I spoke once with a widowed gentleman named Albert, who told me he never thought much of vegetables. They were for decoration, he joked, but after a mild fall landed him in physical therapy, his doctor recommended more greens for circulation and recovery. Albert gave it a try. A spinach omelet here, a small salad there. Within a couple of months, he noticed his legs didn't tire as quickly. His therapist even commented on how steady he'd become. "I never thought a pile of leaves could help me stand taller," he said with a smile. And that's the beauty of it. Leafy greens don't promise big things. They deliver quiet strength, one forkful at a time. Next, we're going to explore something completely different. A golden liquid that most people think of as a kitchen staple, but which actually holds the power to reduce muscle breakdown at its source. It's smooth, anti-inflammatory, and might already be sitting next to your stove. Let's keep going. Let's now turn our attention to something silky, golden, and quietly powerful. You've likely used it for cooking. Maybe drizzled it over a salad or warmed it gently in a pan. But beyond its pleasant taste and texture, this food holds a secret that few people realize, especially when it comes to preserving muscle as we age. I'm talking about olive oil. Yes, olive oil. It's not protein. It's not packed with amino acids. It doesn't build muscle in the way eggs or beans do. But what it does do is protect your body from one of the most invisible and dangerous forces working against your strength: chronic, low-grade inflammation. As we get older, inflammation becomes a quiet fire inside the body. You may not feel it burning. It might not come with pain, but it slowly chips away at muscle tissue, makes recovery slower, and causes strength to fade without a sound. Olive oil, especially the extra virgin kind, contains unique compounds that work against this. One of the most remarkable is oleocanthal, a natural compound that acts like a gentle, food-based version of anti-inflammatory medication. It blocks the very same enzymes that contribute to muscle breakdown, without the side effects of over-the-counter pills. And the effect. With regular use, olive oil has been linked to better muscle function, less frailty, and slower physical decline in older adults. But that's only part of the story. Olive oil also helps improve something called insulin sensitivity. This is how well your body responds to the hormone insulin, which plays a huge role in helping your muscles absorb and use nutrients, especially protein. When insulin sensitivity drops, which it often does with age, your muscles stop responding as well. You can eat the right foods, but they don't get used effectively. Olive oil helps your body process fuel more efficiently, so every bite of good food you eat works harder for you. And then there are the healthy fats themselves. Monounsaturated fats that support hormone production, including testosterone and growth hormone. These hormones naturally decline with age, but they're still important for maintaining muscle tone, strength, and overall vitality. Olive oil doesn't replace these hormones, but it helps your body hold on to what it has and use it wisely. A woman named Judith once told me she had always avoided oils, thinking they were bad for her. Too many calories, she said. But after working with a nutritionist, she began adding a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to her meals twice a day. Not long after, she noticed her hands stopped aching when knitting, and her legs didn't cramp as much at night. It wasn't dramatic. It was subtle, but steady. "It's like my joints stopped arguing with me," she laughed. The beauty of olive oil is in its simplicity. You don't need much, just 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. Use it in salad dressings. Drizzle it over steamed vegetables. Stir it into soups or cooked grains once they've cooled. And most importantly, don't overheat it. Keep it low and gentle to preserve its powerful compounds. Store it away from heat and light, and look for bottles with harvest dates to ensure freshness. What we're learning, again and again, is that strength isn't just built with protein or exercise alone. It's also protected, day after day, by the quiet choices we make. The oils we use, the inflammation we tame, the systems we support from within. And now as we move forward, we're about to enter a sweeter space, one full of color, antioxidants, and surprising power. It's not a protein, it's not a fat, but it holds one of the strongest defenses against age-related muscle loss that nature has ever created. Ready to discover what it is? Let's continue. Now we arrive at something a little more colorful, a little more vibrant, and perhaps the most surprising ally in your journey to stay strong after 60. This isn't something you'd normally think of when talking about muscle health. It's not rich in protein, it's not packed with fats or fiber, but what it does offer is protection, deep cellular protection. I'm talking about berries. Yes, berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, each one small, sweet, and often seen as a pleasant treat. But underneath their juicy flavor lies something far more powerful. These fruits are among the richest natural sources of antioxidants, compounds that neutralize the free radicals inside your body. And those free radicals? They're a major reason why your muscles weaken, your energy dips, and your recovery becomes slower with age. As we grow older, our muscle cells become more sensitive to oxidative damage. That means every walk, every lift, even every night's sleep can take a heavier toll than it used to. And if your body doesn't have enough antioxidant support, those small damages begin to stack up. Your recovery slows, your tissue repairs less effectively. Over time, your muscles stop bouncing back. But berries step in with nature's cleanup crew. They sweep up that damage. They give your muscles space to heal, space to grow, space to stay resilient. And it's not just about cleanup. Berries also influence how your body handles inflammation, especially the kind that doesn't come with swelling or heat, but the low-level kind that lingers for years and slowly chips away at your strength. The polyphenols in berries, natural plant compounds, help bring that inflammation back into balance. They don't shut it off. They just remind your body not to overreact, to let healing happen without constant tension. There's also vitamin C, abundant in many berries, especially strawberries, which plays a quiet but crucial role in collagen production. Collagen is the structural protein that holds your connective tissues together, wrapping around your muscles, giving them shape, support, and strength. And when collagen is strong, your muscles feel more stable. Your joints move more smoothly. You feel more held together in the best possible way. A retired nurse I once met, her name was Gloria, shared with me how she'd started eating a bowl of mixed berries every morning with breakfast. It wasn't a big change, just something she did because it tasted good and looked beautiful on her plate. But after a few months, she noticed her morning stiffness had eased. She walked more freely. Her hands didn't feel as tired when chopping vegetables or writing in her journal. "I didn't expect fruit to do that," she said, "but something's different and I like it." And that's the power of berries. Quiet, colorful, and steady. You don't need to eat baskets of them. Just a cup a day is enough. Frozen berries work just as well as fresh, and they're often more affordable and easier to store. Add them to yogurt, stir them into oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or just eat them by the handful. Their sweetness is natural, satisfying, and comes with none of the crash that sugar-laden treats bring. So while berries may not build muscle the way eggs or fish do, they protect the muscles you have. They shield your strength from the inside out. They make sure that the efforts you're making, through food, through movement, through care, don't go to waste. And now as we approach the final stretch, we're about to meet a food that is often seen as strong, bold, and hearty. It's the kind of food that fills you up, fuels you deeply, and may just offer the highest concentration of one critical muscle-building amino acid your body craves with age. Let's discover it together. Now we come to something bold, something rich, savory, and deeply satisfying. For many, it brings back memories of Sunday dinners or special occasions. But beyond the comfort it brings, this food holds one of the most concentrated forms of nourishment your muscles could ever hope for, especially as you grow older. I'm talking about lean beef. This isn't just about enjoying a good meal. It's about giving your body the very tools it needs to rebuild what time has slowly taken. Because inside a simple cut of lean beef lies an extraordinary density of complete protein, iron, zinc, and a rare compound called creatine, all of which become more essential with every passing year. Let's start with protein. A modest 4-ounce serving of lean beef delivers about 25 grams of complete protein, rich in every amino acid your muscles need to recover and grow. But what makes beef especially powerful is its incredibly high level of leucine. Leucine is an amino acid that acts like a master switch. It activates a key pathway in your body called mTOR, which tells your muscles it's time to grow. As you age, your muscles become less sensitive to this signal. That's why even when you eat enough protein, you may not feel stronger. But beef brings enough leucine to push through that resistance and reignite the growth response. And then there's creatine, a compound naturally found in muscle tissue. While younger adults can make plenty of it on their own, production declines with age. And when creatine is low, energy in your muscles runs out faster. Movements feel heavier, recovery slows. But when you get it from beef, you're restoring that energy reserve, helping your muscles perform longer and bounce back more quickly from the demands of daily life. Lean beef also offers heme-iron, the most absorbable form of iron for the human body. Iron is what carries oxygen to your muscles. And when you don't have enough of it, something that becomes increasingly common in older adults, your strength suffers, even if you're eating well. You may feel tired, short of breath, or weak without knowing why. Restoring iron levels can bring back stamina, clarity, and even a sense of calm in your muscles that's hard to describe until you feel it. Zinc and B vitamins round out beef's benefits, helping with everything from immune strength to energy metabolism. And all of this comes in a single food, one that humans have been relying on for nourishment for thousands of years. A man named Edward once told me he hadn't touched red meat in years, out of concern for cholesterol. But with his doctor's guidance, he began eating lean cuts like sirloin or tenderloin twice a week. He grilled them simply. No heavy sauces, no frying. And within a few weeks, he noticed something remarkable. He could walk longer without sitting down. His hands didn't tremble as they used to when holding a coffee mug. "I feel more solid," he said, "like my body is remembering how to be strong." That's what beef can offer, not just calories or flavor, but structure, memory, support. It's not about eating large portions every day. 2 to 3 servings a week, around 4 to 6 ounces, is enough. Choose lean, grass-fed cuts when possible, and prepare them gently, with respect. Because when food holds this much power, it deserves a little care. And now we arrive at the final food on this journey. It's not a traditional meal. It doesn't come on a plate. But it may be the single most efficient, most research-backed, most muscle-restoring substance available to older adults today. It works fast, it works deeply, and it's something many seniors have never tried. But those who have, they're feeling the difference. Let's uncover this final secret together. Now we've come to the one food that stands above all the rest, not because it's fancy or rare, but because of what it can do. Among all the nutrients, all the meals and snacks you've heard about, this one holds the power to trigger muscle growth faster, more effectively, and more completely than any other. For seniors looking to restore lost strength, this might just be the closest thing to a miracle food science has uncovered. I'm talking about whey protein. It may not sound glamorous, in fact, it might even sound too clinical, something for bodybuilders or athletes or people half your age. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Whey protein is one of the most valuable tools an older adult can use to protect their independence, reduce the risk of falls, and rebuild what sarcopenia has tried to take away. What makes whey so powerful is its speed. Unlike other proteins that take hours to digest, whey is absorbed rapidly. That means it quickly delivers essential amino acids, especially leucine, directly to your muscles at the very moment they need them most. And that speed matters. When your muscles are starved, waiting hours for help isn't enough. Whey comes in like a wave, flooding your system with exactly what it needs to grow and repair. In fact, research from McMaster University found that seniors supplementing with whey protein had up to 40% greater muscle maintenance compared to those getting the same amount of protein from other sources. The difference wasn't just in the numbers. It was in how they moved, how they felt, how confidently they stood up and walked forward. But whey doesn't stop there. It contains something called bioactive peptides, natural compounds that help improve blood flow to your muscles, enhance insulin sensitivity, and even reduce inflammation. All of these factors tend to decline with age. All of them play a role in whether you stay steady on your feet or feel shaky and slow. There's also cysteine, a key ingredient in the production of glutathione, one of your body's most powerful antioxidants. This protects your muscles from internal stress, toxins, and the wear and tear of daily life. Think of it like armor, soft, invisible armor that helps your body stay resilient through every movement, every challenge. A woman named Denise, who was 78 at the time, once shared that she had been hesitant to try whey. "I thought it was for weightlifters," she said, but after trying just 1 scoop a day, mixed into a berry smoothie, she began noticing something different. Her legs didn't ache as much when she stood up. Her balance improved. She even felt like her hands were steadier when reaching for things. "I feel like I have a little more control over my body," she told me. And really, isn't that what we're all looking for? Whey protein is easy to include in your day. Just 1 serving, around 20 to 30 grams, especially after any activity, can make a remarkable difference. Stir it into water, milk, or blend it with fruit and greens. Choose versions that are minimally processed, ideally without added sugars or artificial ingredients. And if you're sensitive to dairy, there are hydrolyzed or lactose-free options that may work better for you. The most important thing isn't perfection, it's consistency. It's the quiet decision to say yes to your muscles every single day. Because strength doesn't disappear all at once, and it doesn't return all at once either. But with whey, you give your body a chance to fight back, a chance to grow again. And now that we've explored each of these 10 powerful foods, maybe you're starting to feel something stir inside. A quiet voice that says, maybe I can do this. Because the truth is, you can. You absolutely can. Let's take a moment together, one last time. Maybe you're sitting there now, thinking back on meals you've eaten, foods you've skipped, habits you've formed without even realizing. Maybe for a long time, you believed the decline in strength was just part of getting older. Something to accept, something to work around. But I hope now, after walking through this together, you can see something clearer, something deeper. It doesn't have to be that way. Muscle loss isn't just a number on a chart or a medical term on a diagnosis. It's the feeling of not being able to lift a grandchild, the struggle to carry groceries from the car, the fear of slipping on the stairs. But now you know, it's also a problem with solutions. Not through extreme changes or expensive treatments, but through small, steady, delicious choices, through food, real food, Greek yogurt feeding your muscles while you sleep, fatty fish calming inflammation and improving protein sensitivity, eggs, simple and powerful, waking your body up with leucine, nuts and seeds providing protection through minerals and healthy fats, beans working from the inside out, healing your gut and delivering strength quietly, leafy greens moving nutrients where they're needed most, olive oil softening the inflammation that slowly eats away its strength, berries protecting your muscle cells from damage, lean beef restoring the very amino acids and energy reserves your body depends on, and whey protein, quick, efficient, and deeply restorative, stepping in to help you regain what time has tried to take. These aren't just foods, they're allies, each one a quiet partner in your journey to live with strength, confidence, and freedom. And the most beautiful part? You don't need to do it all today. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to begin with one choice, one swap, one new habit. Let your body feel what it's been missing. Let it respond. Let it grow strong again. Because even in your 60s, 70s, 80s, it's not too late. Your muscles are listening. They still remember what it means to lift, to carry, to move freely through the world. And when you feed them, truly feed them, they respond with grace, with power, with life. If this message spoke to you, if something inside you felt seen, understood, or inspired, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone you love who might need to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. And now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods have you already included in your daily meals? Which ones are you curious to try? Have you noticed any small changes in your strength, balance, or energy since making a shift in your nutrition? Leave a comment below. Your story might just be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own journey back to strength. Stay kind to yourself. Stay steady. You are more powerful than you know. And your best days are not behind you. They're still ahead.